360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories, broadcasting and live streaming to millions of devices around the world, including Roku, and live streaming to Facebook Live. Also on Amazon Fire TV and to Twitch. Also Android TV and Periscope. Broadcasting to Apple TV and YouTube Live. Proudly brought to you by our host, Donna, producer and host, Michaela Vidal, host and administrator, and Jim Grant, producer and host. Proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Messages of Inspirational Stories. Jim, we are Wednesday already for our week.
Yeah, the hump day, getting ready to head to Thursday and into Friday. My goodness gracious. This week is flying by, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. So this is really exciting for us to talk about Plan Now for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And Donna and I, we talked about, let me go back a little bit in history of our show. A week ago last Monday, we talked about, getting prepared for 2022, having a New Year's resolution. And the very first thing we recommended was for you to be able to enjoy good health and things of this nature, because that's extremely important. And I'd like to give a plug out to our good friend, Dr. Grant, Dr. George Grant, the Academy of Wellness.
Yes.
Because if you and your family want to start out and have a great holiday, you want to make sure you address health issues, because that can worry you and stress you out and all those things. If you go to Academy of Wellness.com, you fill out his little, I think it's 10 question questionnaire and submit it to him. Dr. Grant, if you mention this TV show, he will give you a free AO scan of your body. And that thing, just like a little cell phone, little device. It's called an AO scanner. A is an alpha, O is an Oscar. And it will scan you. And it's a 3D full report of just about incredible. Everything. Yeah. And you take that with you to your medical doctor, have them run blood tests, and all the tests that they do based on what, is revealed there, because that way it gives your doctor a good outline. And the beauty in that is that you can live in confidence and address anything that is in your body, in your health, and you can approach it from a positive point of view. And it's just amazing. His stories, the people he's helped, he's got clients all over the world. I mean, thousands of clients all over the world. He's helped a boatload of people not only maintain good health, but improve their health.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as we talk about stress in the holidays, Jim, this is a way to, if you're stressed about, what's going on in your body, this is a way that you can meet it head on and de-stress, because his solutions are really quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not complicated. They don't cost a lot of money.
Guess what I'm drinking, Donna?
Same water I am?
Yes, ma'am. It's alkaline water. Why don't you tell the story on that?
So when he scanned me, he said, Donna, you don't drink enough water. And I was floored, because I have a big, I think they're called a Bubba. It's a jug. It's not even a cup. And I think it holds like 30 some ounces. And I drink like 4 of those a day. And I said, Doc, that's crazy. I drink more water than most people even dream of. And he said, well, you're not getting it in your system. You need to drink alkaline water. I'm like, okay. So I looked it up on the internet and I'm like, all right, how do I do this? And it's real simple. It's a half a teaspoon of baking soda per gallon of water. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom.
You can mix it up, and I recommend you just drink the water, as much as you can during the day. Plus the fact you don't drink as much because it quenches your thirst. There's
Right.
something special about it. And
That's
I
what I
found,
noticed right away.
yeah, yeah. And another thing too, I don't recommend, I try to, with my coffee, and it will put a little bit of a taste in your coffee that you may or may not like. I personally did not care for the taste. So I rough it with, the regular water we normally use. But having good alkaline water, having an alkaline system, research it for yourself. If
Mhm.
your body is acidy on the inside, that is a breeding ground for all the things that can come into your life that you do not want. But if
Right.
it's alkaline, guess what? Everything on planet Earth, from the molecular level on up, must have nutrition to go and grow.
Hmm.
And it will also fight to survive.
Yep.
And if your body is more alkaline on the inside, it really stacks the odds in your favor.
Right.
And I'll just leave it at that. And I tell you, this show has been so much fun for us. We enjoy putting it on. We want to personally thank you folks from around the
Yes.
world tuning in. And we know that you have the prerogative to watch anything and everything else but us. And we just want to say thank you very much for your
From the bottom
support.
of our hearts.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And during this week, we've been talking about the spirit of giving.
Yes.
Oh, and getting ready for, Christmas holidays or the seasonal holidays, regardless
Right.
of your beliefs during that time. That's personal and private. We understand, we respect that. But we just call it a Christmas season just because that's what it's mainly known as here in the United States and other parts of the world. And Donna, I was thinking about something, and I never really participated or knew anything much about the 12 days of Christmas except the lyric, that they came up
Right.
with. And I know it got started, a long time ago. And again, put religion aside because this is not about religion or anything like that. Uh, but what I am encouraging you to do is to create the 12 days of the spirit of giving and make it your family tradition. Ooh.
I love that.
Mm.
I love that.
And it's kind of like that deal where it's what's that old saying? Something new, something blue, something barred, and something stolen. No, that's not it. Scratch that last one. That's not right. That's why I never made as a big time singer. Number one, I couldn't sing. Number two, I couldn't remember the lyrics.
Right. But it's real simple. If you want to make up your own 12 days of Christmas calendar, if you will.
Mhm.
You can do it with felt, you can do it with scrap material and just
Yeah.
some fabric glue, or you can do it with paper and make little
Mhm.
pockets.
Mhm.
But Jim and I were talking about this, and one of the fun things to do would be the last days leading up to Christmas is put everybody's name on one of those markers,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And do something special for each, for the person whose name it is that day.
Mhm. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be 12 consecutive days in a row to
Right.
create your tradition of the spirit of giving. You may have it on a Saturday or a Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday, and it might go to the next week depending on,
Right.
everyone's schedule. But the main thing of it is to create the 12 days of the spirit of giving. And of course, tradition here, it talks about on the first day of Christmas, or, let me see here. My true love sent to me a partridge and a pear tree. Okay. That sounds like two things, a partridge and a pear tree. But on the first day of your spirit of giving, think of something that you would like to do for yourself and someone else, if you like. It can be for, others, mainly that's the focus, but you can also include yourself into it. And I'm kind of an old dumb country boy, and I like simple things. And I was just talking to Donna before the show started. What if on one day you decided, okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to a corn maze. Okay.
Mhm.
I know if you live in a big city, you might say, what's corn or what's a maze? But, you know, just check around with different groups, um, people that do things in, civic groups,
Mhm.
check with the Chamber of Commerce. What is something fun you can do? And I highly recommend, because during the holiday season, that is the loneliest time in the world for people who are alone.
It is. Very sadly, that's true, Jim.
Yeah. And include them. And I'm going to use the corn maze or, whatever you want to do there. Invite them along and say, would you do us a favor? Would you honor us with your presence, number one? And number two,
Mhm.
would you help us keep an eye on our little rapscallion, our precious kids, because for a kid like me, you might need a rope or something, to put
A
around their,
harness.
yeah, yeah. But, get them involved in that, help get them involved in the activity as a spirit of giving, because giving is what living is all about. It truly
Right.
is.
It really is. And, for those of you who have little ones, it occurs to me sometimes, at least in my house, every Christmas, all my animals get presents. So, if you want to do something for your animals, put that in there on a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We were talking about animals the other day. When I say we, me and my wife were. And back in the 60s and 70s, having a dog or something like that in the house, they were a pet, yes. But animals, especially dogs, they have this, they have a psychic to them. They really do. They
Mhm.
psych you out. Cats do too. Because dogs live with you and you live with cats. Because I don't know what it is about cats. Cats take one look at me and go, this guy's no problem, no
Right?
challenge. I'll have
Yeah,
him trained in no time. But dogs, as people became more in tune with dogs being family members, fur babies, dogs are going like, hey, this will work.
hmm.
They really pick up on that.
Oh, yeah.
And giving heck, including your dogs into the family, not including them in the family, but involved in the spirit of giving. Oh my goodness, that's a win-win-win situation for all. It really is.
It is. It is. Because they're as much a part of family, all our
Mm.
animals,
Oh
as,
yeah.
you know, it's just a little lonelier without them.
Hmm. And I remember years ago when I lost my sidekick for 10 years and lost him within 48 hours due to pneumonia. And see, dogs have this way of, not letting you know when they're sick, or they keep on keeping on because you're a member of their pack and their job is to protect you and love you and watch over you. So they take that job seriously. That
Yeah,
supersedes anything that's going on in their life.
it does. And the fact that dogs have a much higher pain tolerance
Mm,
than people, and actually cats have an even higher pain tolerance than dogs.
mm. That's so true. Because when it comes to pain,
They hide it.
yeah, when it comes to pain for me, I got one thing to say:
Help.
medic, medic. but but
Evelyn, I need help.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean to tell you. And when it comes to the dogs in your life, I remember when I lost range. Uh, it's real hard, ladies and gentlemen, to dig a grave with tears in your eyes.
Hmm.
And everybody knows what it's like to lose their favorite pet. And we're dog lovers here on the show, as you can tell in our charity that we sponsor and promote is the shelter to soldier dot organization.org. Shelter to
Beautiful,
soldier.org. Yeah.
beautiful organization.
Yeah. And Donna, I love what they do, don't you?
Oh my gosh. You know, none of us like to hear about animals being put down because there's no room in the shelters. And unfortunately, we hear about it every single day.
Mhm.
And it is a fact that black animals, dogs and cats alike, are put down before any other because for whatever reason, people don't adopt them. But
Mhm.
these folks go in and they adopt the bigger dogs. You know, I'm
Mhm.
talking 70 pounds plus. And they go in and they pull them out of the shelter and save their life. They give them training to understand and what to look for with PTSD. And the soldiers, everybody wins because the
Mhm.
soldiers, having gone through their program and understanding their needs, they pick 4 or 5 dogs that they think might work with that particular veteran. And they come in and do a meet and greet and they find each other.
Mhm.
And Jim, what is the statistic for this charity, Shelter to Soldier, that when they go home with a dog, what is the statistic, if I can get the word out, of suicide rate?
0.
Yep, that tells you how important it is.
So the dog's life gets saved, the soldier's life gets saved, and so does the family get
Mhm.
saved from the burden
And
and
the
the
anguish.
horrible experience that suicide brings. And we've
Absolutely.
had suicide in our family. And I know from experience the pain that the
Mhm.
family goes through. I know exactly how it feels to blame yourself, to feel guilty and worthless.
Right.
And if you've gone through that, you know what I'm talking about. But regardless of what you go through in life, make sure you do this. Give yourself the gift of forgiving yourself.
Hmm.
Because whatever you're blaming yourself for, you feel guilty for, you know, that's something that was a shortcoming in your life. You didn't do it because you were mean. You may have been preoccupied. You may have been distracted. But forgive yourself because you're human and you make mistakes.
Right.
And you know that you know that you know that if you had to do over again, things would be a lot different. But forgive yourself. Same is true if you lose a loved one suddenly in an automobile accident. Why didn't I talk to them more? I was going to call them on Tuesday night and I
Hmm.
didn't because I was tired and I thought I'd relax and watch my favorite show.
Woulda, coulda, shouldas will eat your energy up.
Oh, yeah. And it stabs you in your heart like a dagger. So
Yep.
give yourself the gift of forgiveness
Hmm.
because that's critical. A lot of people uh, carry things like that with them for a long, long time. And we're talking about the spirit of enjoying the holidays and the spirit of giving. You've got to give yourself the gift of forgiveness.
Hmm.
And Donna and I, we never script a show. We just have a few ideas we're going to discuss, and then we just roll with the flow. And Donna, I think we have said it many times before, but I'm a firm believer that many times as we're talking, the energy that comes to us that brings
Hmm.
ideas or impulses for us to say things is because there might be one person out there listening
Absolutely.
that needs to hear those words of comfort. So that is why we do what we do.
Yep.
And when it comes to my warped sense of humor, that's what I do because that's what I do. That's a true reflection of me, ladies and
Yeah, it
gentlemen.
is. It definitely is.
Warped sense of humor. You know,
Right?
my mother used to tease me, and she says, it's a good thing the good Lord gave you a sense of humor because if he didn't, you probably wouldn't have any sense at all.
Ooh.
Mom knew me well. And I tell you, she loved me to tease her. I tell you, and half the fun in teasing her, just as it's a little sideline here, excuse me. Half the fun in teasing mom was that I knew exactly how she was going to react.
Right?
Sometimes you get out of here and quit talking that nonsense in my house. I'll take a hickory switch to you, and
Nice.
I just laugh, because mom, she was easy. She easygoing, and I could get away with a lot. I couldn't get away
Right.
much with dad. I knew with dad I was skating on thin ice. So I, I, throttled back a little bit on that deal, you might say.
Right? right? But I love the idea about the 12 days of giving around your
Mhm.
own schedule and how that works with you and your
Oh,
family.
yeah.
And one of the things is like if you want to come together with the kids and say, okay, we're all going to do this, and then individually, like maybe without mom around or dad around, or however it works in the dynamics of your family, and that you
Mhm.
could discuss a way that you could do something fun for them for that day.
Mhm.
Breakfast in bed, you
Yeah.
know, uh, all kinds of a family fun day, their favorite meal. I mean,
Mhm.
there's just so many things out there that if you just sit down and think about it for a minute of
Mhm.
things that you can do that would bring so much love and joy to your life and to
Mhm.
the person that you're giving to.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And folks too, get the kids, ask for their opinion. What would they like to do?
That's
Can they
important.
can they think of someone that we could invite to participate and experience and enjoy this spirit of giving?
Right. What a
That's yeah, because getting kids involved in it, I mean, you'll be surprised what kids will say.
Well, and the ideas. I mean,
Oh
that's the
yeah,
thing I remember when my kids were younger. The ideas that they would come up with would be like,
yeah,
okay, I never thought of that, but that's
yeah.
awesome,
Hmm.
right? That's totally awesome.
Yeah. And it's just amazing how you can do things like that to get the family to buy in. And like on the second day of giving, I got to look at my cheat sheet here because I'm not familiar with this, but the second day, my true love sent to me two turtle doves. And for the second day of spirit of giving, pick out
Hmm.
two things,
Right.
and you want to be able to make your list and put them in priority. What's number one? What's number two? And because you get down, 6, 7, 8 days, I mean, you don't want to have 6 or 7 things that's going to take 6 or 7 hours, you know,
Right. Right.
realistically.
And then get caught up all of a sudden and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
where'd that time go?
Yeah. And then you'll be stressed out. And then you'll have to call Donna there, Donna Geenwald. Because
Oh,
Donna's got this big dumpster back. I ain't talking about the dipsty dumpster. I'm talking about a roll off dumpster where you can
it's a
dump it.
big one.
Yeah. You can dump a boatload of stuff in there. But
And
no,
just
she'll
throw
be
all
glad
our
to.
stress back there.
That's right. She'll give you a free 30-minute consultation to help you find energy because this is a time that if you're not giving energy and you're just stressed out, you're going to be draining your battery. You're going to be worn out. And I've known people actually say, "Whew, I'm glad the holidays are over."
Right.
What are they saying?
Right. They're stressed. They're tired.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Right. It was
So,
more work than it was fun.
oh, yeah,
And that's
the pain.
and that's absolutely what you need to avoid at all
Mhm.
costs.
Yeah.
You of course there's work involved, but you know what? Make it fun and pre-plan it so that you can enjoy the holidays and that you're not stressed out and that you don't end up right at Christmas time you're just exhausted because you push
Hmm.
yourself so far.
Hmm. Exactly. Because that means you didn't plan well, your heart was not set on the spirit
Right.
of giving, and you were out of balance
Mm,
with the universe big time.
yeah.
And that only does one thing. That'll wear you out, folks. It really will.
It will. And you're not in harmony with your energy.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You're not in harmony.
And if you want to email Donna, just get in touch with her at High Energy right now. Because if you need some high energy, you don't need it mañana. You need it right now at gmail.com. She'll be glad to get back with you and
Sure
touch
will.
base with her. Yeah, because that's
Sure will.
extremely important. And Donna, on the third day, I mean, let's just talk about three things here. We hadn't even practiced this here. The third day is the three French hens. Uh, I guess those hens come from France, I guess. I don't know. But what are three simple things that a person in their family, their loved ones, their kids that they could do? Just like 3 ideas. I mean, number
Mhm.
one comes to my mind, what you said, make some homemade decorations for the family traditional tree.
Right? That is so much fun to, string popcorn or make the old fashioned snowflakes, out of the white pieces of paper,
Mm.
and you cut it, or uh, the garland for the tree, you can do
Oh
that with,
yeah.
and there's so many pretty colors of paper and stuff out there
Hmm.
now. You can match your decorations to a T.
Mm. And one of the things you can also do, especially for someone that's elderly or living alone or whatever, you and the kids, or you yourself, if you don't have any kids, doesn't matter. Just pick up one of those little trees, a small one, and decorate it yourself
Hmm.
and deliver it to them. I mean, that's a nice gesture to say, "Hey, you're important,
Right. You
and I
matter.
have not for yeah, you matter, and I have not forgot about you."
Right.
What kind of a gift is that for people to receive? Holy, it sure beats anything you can get at Wally World or
Right.
Walmart. Walmart. I mean, to tell someone that I love you, I like you, I appreciate you, I respect you, and you're important to me, and I want to
Hmm.
remember you and give you this little gift and just
Right.
say, Happy Holidays. Mm.
Right. Right. That's beautiful. But and it can be as simple as um, you could do a note to somebody every single day as part of,
Mm.
right? I know that my husband and I do notes to each other almost every single day. And sometimes I'll slip one in his wallet
Mhm.
so he won't see it right away. And he'll go in the middle of the day and go off to buy something or whatever, and pulls out his money and there's a note. And he's like,
Mhm.
I got this note. And I'm
Mhm.
like, but it's the unexpected stuff that
Mhm.
brings so much love and light into our life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the unexpected things like that are really fun. And yeah, because we do notes from time to time. And, one of the hardest things for me is, she hasn't seen it yet. She hasn't seen it yet. But behave, be patient.
Right.
But, it's all in fun. And yeah, I mean, you could take one thing there. It's a great idea. You could take, you could take as many number of people that you want to. It might be 20 people, and you could send them notes
Mhm.
every single day, or you know, two or three times during the 12 days, whatever. But let them know. That's a great idea because a note, handwritten notes, you know,
They mean
it's
a lot.
yeah, they do. They mean a lot more than someone just picking up a card and signing their name and putting it in there
Right.
because the words
Right.
came from somebody else.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. And
it's kind
and
of like
here's something else. I'm sorry, Jim.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if it's a birthday, you want to make sure, they get a birthday card and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
If you know their birthday, and if they're, you know, whatever, if they're anything that you could think of. And for you entrepreneurs out there, listen up. You may need a VA to help you on this. This just came to my mind for some reason. But as you get to know your clients, and we spoke about that last week, putting them in categories.
Hmm.
Let's just say that, you came across something on, let's say, I don't know, car racing, for example, and someone's interested in cars. You could send them an email or have your VA send them an email and just say, I saw this article about, this race car driver and thought you might find it interesting.
Hmm.
That is one heck of a way of building your rapport with your email list. And when you send them something, it's not going to be the generic stuff of, hey, I appreciate you and I thought about you then, thought you might be interested in this here that I have,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because it makes it so much more personal. It makes it so much more of interest to them. I don't know
Hmm.
why it just came to my mind, but I'm not going to charge you folks any extra for sharing it with you.
Well, and something else in giving, if you have a neighbor who's alone
Hmm.
and is not able to get everything done,
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
great day to go and say their front yard needs to be weeded and mowed and kind of pruned up. It's a great day. Take the whole family over there and just boom, do it.
Yeah. Rake up the leaves or whatever.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, because that's a good point. It really is because that doesn't cost any money.
No,
And
just a
that,
little
and that,
time.
yeah. And that person would greatly do that because Donna, you do that with a lady that lives. Is it behind you?
Next door to me. Hmm.
Next door.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Donna's cleaned up her alley, she cleans up, the place behind her place too, and because she don't have to worry about it and it's done. And
Right. And
that's a not.
and we
Go
don't
ahead.
say anything. We just go and do it, and we spray
Hmm.
our weeds and we spray her weeds, and boom, done.
Hmm. Amazing.
Just because
It really
that's just
is.
what you do. That's
Hmm.
just what you do.
It really is. And Donna, on that, there's a third day of spirit of giving, and I got to pull this up again. Oh, we talked about the three French hens, four
Fourth day.
calling birds. Yeah, fourth day, four calling birds, and be sure and schedule things out where you don't, have to work. Like I said before, 29 hours in one day to get all things done. But there's four calling birds and there's five gold rings. These are the lyrics to the song. Six geese a laying, seven swans a swimming. Otherwise, if you take seven swans a swimming, you got to have a pool over there big enough for seven swans, so that'd be a chore. Eight maids a milking. You're talking about a herd of cows there, huh? Nine ladies dancing. Well, I'm not going to say anything there.
Just keep
10
going.
lords a leaping. Good luck with that. 11 pipers piping. Again, good luck. And 12 drummers drumming. But in those 12 days of the spirit of giving, you want to make sure that you schedule things in there and be sure and remember yourself. Treat yourself during these days too. And you will get treated by by paying things forward and giving to others, but also include yourself. And again, I say again, and I've said this 29 times, I'm going to say it 30. Be sure and invite the person that doesn't have family and friends in their life, people who are alone, especially elderly or people that's lost a loved one recently or been through a divorce. Be sure and include them in any and all the little things that you're doing. Ask for their opinion.
Right.
These folks, well, it's amazing when you ask for opinion, people come up with some really good ideas that you hadn't thought about.
Right. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty
Mhm.
of coming together and
Oh,
and
yeah.
including everybody. You
Hmm.
know, your family isn't always blood. It's who you choose in your life.
Hmm.
Because we're not always around our family.
No. Sometimes you
Used to
don't
be
want to be
we
around
were,
them. Sometimes you don't want to be around them.
right?
I mean that in kindness. I miss. But when you're planning for the holidays, start with the end result in mind. What is that you want to accomplish? What would make you feel that wow, I really enjoyed the holidays?
Hmm.
And start from that point and work backwards to where you are.
Right.
And set up a schedule so that you can stay on track and don't wait till the last minute to try to do everything and that includes shopping for gifts. We covered that, what, 2 days ago on Monday?
Hmm.
Yeah. And make a list of stuff. Because Donna, you came up with some good ideas there, getting the family involved and doing the cutouts for the trees and all that. And when you asked your kids to chip in with their opinion and their advice, number one, they're buying in on the project. That's one of the main things you want to get done as a parent, because if you got teenagers in your house, hey, let's do this. What are they going to say? I don't want to do that, you know. But if you get them, if you ask for their opinion, and what do you think about this? And what do you have an idea that could help us or whatever? Get them to buy
Hmm.
in on the project.
Right.
That is a basic principle that even managers use in business.
Right.
Because a manager can come and say, listen, I'm the boss. This was a decision made. This is what we're going to do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would go, all right, well, we got to do A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay. Sounds nutty to me, but we'll do it. And, a lot of folks approach it like that from the managerial level. And when they do, the employees approach it like that too.
Mm-hmm.
But if the management sits down with them and talks about, hey, we got some things here we want to accomplish, and we'd like some fresh and good ideas.
Right.
If we're going to be trying to do this, does anyone have an idea on how we could do it easier or better? And that creates a think tank.
Right. A mastermind.
Yes, mastermind. And Donna, I'd like for you to share a little bit about the importance of a mastermind, what it does.
Well, a mastermind just simply allows you to hone in on where you're at and share those ideas. Like
Mhm.
Jim and I, we'll have a phone call, right? Hey,
Mhm.
how's it going? We haven't talked in a couple of days. Next thing you know,
Mhm.
we talk about business and then a little bit, and then we're both of us. I can't recall a phone call we have that hasn't been like that.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
be like, oh my gosh, this just came to me. And
Mhm.
we're like, oh, that's brilliant. We need to implement
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
for the
Yeah.
TV show. And
Mhm.
that's literally what a mastermind does. You expand on the energy and the ideas of where you're
Mhm.
going, right?
Yeah, because I think you could easily see that if I come on the show and I'm wanting to talk about this, and Donna's not on board and she wants to talk about that, you people are going to say, "What's wrong with these guys? They need to go in
Right?
the
They're
back
bouncing
office
back
back
and
there."
forth. Yeah,
Yeah,
bouncing back and forth like baseball and
yeah,
softball, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, but I want to talk about this. I don't
No, I
care.
want
Be
to talk
quiet.
about basketball.
But that's the importance of creating harmony.
Right.
That's the point that we want to make is create harmony in your lifestyle. And you can do it with family, friends, your kids, whoever is in your inner circle of your world. And be selective on who you allow in your inner circle because they're going to have a lot of influence on you.
Yeah. Isn't
Kind of
that the
like,
truth?
yeah, kind of like growing up when your parents told you you're known by the company you keep. That has never changed and it will change even if you live to be 300 and it's so ugly one side of your face doesn't match the other, it's still going to be in force. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mhm.
If you, I guess I look at it like this, Jim.
Mhm.
When the company you keep, and of course, when you've got kids at home, you want to be
Mhm.
super careful.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't let a robber into your house to knowingly rob you,
Mhm.
right? So don't let somebody in your inner circle or into your home who's going to rob you of your joy and your
Mm.
peace.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say during over the period of years that they just want to get rid of someone in their life because, and people give them advice, don't let them rent, a free space in your head,
Right.
because that's exactly what they do, especially people who enjoy putting other people down.
Mhm.
Couples sometimes get into fights, and the sad part about that is when they're arguing, they're not trying to solve the problem.
Right.
You may think so, but they aren't. What they're trying to do, each one is trying to win their side of the argument.
One up them.
Yeah. And that doesn't float any more than a boat made out of adobe in the middle of the ocean. Both of them, if they're in there, they're going down,
Right.
and it's so that's what we're talking about. Be careful on how you let people, influence your mind because your mind is yours. It belongs to no one else. And whatever you put in your mind, what you reap, you're going to sow. So if you want love and abundance, you got to sow love and abundance. And
Right.
how do you get love? You love yourself first, then you can love others. How do you get abundance? You get abundance in life by giving to others.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's that simple.
Right.
It really is.
Just give it away, folks.
Hmm.
Just give it away.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
strangest secret, let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, okay. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. In case some of you out there haven't heard, that when I was about 18 or 19, it's right before I went in the army. I met Mr. Earl Nightingale, and I'm going to share with you how I met him. I didn't know who he was by sight, but I recognized his voice because he was all over the radio. He had that specific gravelly voice. And I'm at a gas station there. My friend owned the gas station, and I'd go over there and help him out and do things for him and stuff like that. And this big car comes driving in. And I think it was an Oldsmobile or Buick or something like big four-door car back in the 60s. So it was a big car. And this thing, the radiator's just steaming. It's hot. It overheated. So the guy realized he's got a problem. And the owner just told him, says, just pull the car over there and let everything cool off, and we'll take a look at it when it cools down. He said, okay. So the guy comes in. He gets on the phone. And because in 1968, we'd never heard of a cell phone, you know.
Right.
I mean, the only people who had something like that was Dick Tracy had a radio watch, and we thought that was wow, you know. And that was on
Maxwell
cartoons.
Smart.
Yeah.
Maxwell
Yeah.
Smart with his shoe.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one. That's a good one. And as soon as he called and started talking, I recognized his voice, and I knew he was Earl Nightingale. And he says, I'm going to be late. He says, I've got car trouble. My car's overheating. He says, I'm sorry. He says, I will give you a call and let you know when I'm able to get back on the road. And he just sat down and just took everything in stride. He didn't let it get revved up on the inside or anything like that. And that was all that I knew. I knew who he was, and that was all I observed. And I thought, wow, he's taking things kind of cool, you know. But when you look at Earl Nightingale's life, he was one of the few Marines that survived Pearl Harbor, December the 7th, 1941, the bombing of the USS Arizona, the battleship that was sunk. He was one of the few people that was able to get through the flames and everything, and everybody was helping everybody to get off that ship. So he'd already walked through the flames of death, you might say.
Right.
And so a car overheating wasn't that big of a deal for him. And it was many years later when I found out more about him. I thought, wow, I wish I'd have known that then. And of course, a lot of people in that time, they were World War II veterans and stuff. It was just, it was common. In fact, it was uncommon not to be a veteran, to be honest with you. And my son sent me this many years ago, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And I had never heard of it before. And to make a long story short, he talks about how when you get ready to ask for something, be ready to have your mind ready to receive it, because after you've asked for it, it's already yours. And I know there's some people out there going like, what? Jim, are you nuts? I'm glad I'm not making that up, okay? You heard people say, oh, I'm not making this up. I wish I wouldn't make this up, but I'm glad I'm not making it up. Go to YouTube, listen to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And what I recommend too, Donna, is that for people to get off to a quiet place.
Mm-hmm. That's important.
And close your eyes, relax, and let your little world be very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
And just listen to the message. You will know whether or not it is singing your song.
Yeah, you will. And, it kind of goes with the saying, we hear it all the time now, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And when it first came out, it really frustrated me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? But then a little longer into it, and I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. It just is. You can't, I wake up in the morning and the battery's dead on my car. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is no point in being freaked out about it. There's no point in being upset because it happens. It's already happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to take care of it and go on with your day.
Yeah. Well, if you're driving...
I was just going to say, no. So there's really, this is kind of where it's at. Understand that it's out there. You can receive it, but it is up to you how you receive anything and everything in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how it affects you. And
Mm-hmm.
so, gosh, holidays are stressful, Jim. So
Mm.
stressful.
Oh, yeah, it really
So
is.
anything that we can put out here to help you guys that plan now for the holidays, but don't be stressed. Don't put yourself in a financial situation that stresses you even further. Don't
Mm-hmm.
stress yourself out by doing every single minute task yourself. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Put it out there. Ask everybody for some help.
Spread the wealth.
Yep.
I
Spread the
like
wealth.
that. I was just going to pop in there earlier and say something that for many years, I hate to admit this, this is true. For many years, it seemed like if it was a stoplight, that thing would see me coming and say, okay, we're going to go from green to yellow to red just for because he's coming.
Right?
And I used to get aggravated at that, you know, and doggone it, it used to grind me. It really did. And I hate to admit it, but if you're honest with yourself and you forgive yourself and say, thank you, I'm not that dumb and ignorant and hard headed anymore, or I'm less dumb, less ignorant, and less hard headed in my case. But look at it from the bigger picture. Maybe that
Mhm.
stoplight turned red to keep you from being in an accident further along the road, or
Yep.
running over some kid's pet that may run across the road. Because if you've ever hit an animal, and I have, oh, I hate it. I mean, I live out in the country, and I even hate to hit a little squirrel on the county road I live on.
Right.
And I'll beat my horn and all that, but squirrels are so unpredictable. They'll shoot right across in front of you. And, it's because, I just don't like, hitting an animal. I just don't.
Right.
And most people don't. And you understand what I'm going there. But look at it like that. That red light stopped me for a reason.
Hmm.
Who knows? Maybe a cop be going through there and I could be speeding. Stop me from getting a speeding ticket. Hmm, that'll work. You know, Whatever the reason is, don't let a thing like a stoplight upset you. Because as Donna likes to say, a person, a place, or a
Place or
thing, yeah.
they're all
And
one of them is one or more is a trigger for us. And it's
mhm,
up to us to learn how to not let them trigger us and let them go. And that,
mhm,
folks, is where you get your high energy, where you
mhm,
have peace and balance inside. And that's
mhm.
what high energy is all about.
If you folks out there is like me, if it's an aggravating thing or an aggravating place or an aggravating person,
Ah.
that's what Donna's talking about. Don't let that bother you because it's going to rob you of your health, your happiness. It's going to rob you of the true riches of life that you're entitled to. You're
Right.
entitled to be loved. You're entitled to be liked. You're entitled to be appreciated. And yes, you are entitled to be respected.
Hmm.
Even though your beliefs or your opinions may differ from me or anyone else on planet Earth, you're entitled to that. And I, as a person, must love you as a human being, like you as a person, appreciate you as a person, and respect you as a person, even though we may agree to disagree. That's
Hmm.
okay. It really
Right.
is.
Right.
But if a person, gets upset over a person, place, or thing and lets it gnaw at them, it is a self destroyer. It will
Hmm.
destroy your soul too. It robs
Yep.
you on all fronts, and it does not bother the other person or place or thing at all.
Right. Right. They just keep going.
Yep, they're going
They
to be
just keep
aggravating,
going.
and there's nothing you can do about it. So suck it
Pretty
up and let them
much.
go.
Right. You gotta let it go. And especially coming into the holidays, and we bring this
Hmm.
up again, folks, because these are some of the things that happen. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't have enough time. I don't, I can't get everything done. I can't get the house decorated. Oh my gosh, I gotta start on my buying stuff and I got to this and I got to that. Pre-plan, plan now for the holidays and plan fun activities, especially doing that when we are so busy this time of year, when you can break up the work and put some fun and play into it. There is a balance and a harmony in that makes the holidays easier to get through.
Absolutely. It really does. And Donna, whenever you think about going through the holidays and getting things done, there's such a thing as enjoying the journey,
right?
And having a labor of love and focus on the end result. And I like what Sam Snead said about golfers, about golfing. He says, golfers think too much. He says, every single golfer on the pro tour knows they're going to make one or two bad shots playing the course.
Sure.
So when that happens, okay, that's the bad shot that, that I probably was going to make the day. But so many golfers would get caught up in that bad shot moment. Oh, I shouldn't have made that bad shot. I know better than that. I should have done this. And they're just torturing themselves in their mind. And Sam's message was just let it go. Okay, it's a bad shot. No big deal. Everybody else is going to make a bad shot. So that kind of evens the score. And, it's a good way of looking at stuff. Don't let the little things eat you up.
Okay, perfect example. Yesterday, I was trimming bushes with the electric trimmer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. This is good. Pay attention.
I am usually much more observant. I don't know where I was focused, but I wasn't focused on the task at hand. And I trim and then I'll clean that area up so I can see what I'm trimming. And I picked up the trimmers and turned it on and it went zip. And I looked down and the extension cord got right in with those trimmers. And I was so dadgum mad at myself for a minute because, I wasn't paying attention. And my husband got home and of course he got it apart for me because I couldn't get it out. I had it wedged in there so dadgum tight. And he's like, it happens. He's like, it's not a big deal. We'll just go down and get a new end and I'll fix it. And I'm like, okay. He goes, the extension cord will be 5 feet shorter is all. But it's okay to get aggravated for a minute. What I'm saying, folks, is don't live in that area. Don't live in that. And especially with the holidays, it can be so crazy. And it really can make us, we want it to be so perfect that we work ourselves into just a fury of activity. Take it easy. Take it easy. Right? Give yourself some breathing space. Do some work, do some fun, and have balance.
Oh, yeah. And I just thought about something I like to share. For you parents out there with kids, be sure and ask what they'd like to do, to have a little, on this, let's say the 5th day. On the 5th day, one of the things we're going to do is have fun. It's something we want to do. What is the one thing you'd like to do? And let's say the kids want to play a card game. I'm using that only as an example. And you may not care for card games. I know people don't care for card games. But go ahead and go through the process with a pleasing attitude that, this is something my kid wants to do. I'm going to do it with them.
Right.
And, it just means so much. But most importantly, make sure that you treat yourself, you treat others, you love yourself, you love others. That is the foundation for the spirit of giving during the 12 days of the spirit of giving.
It is.
Set your own family tradition.
Right? Absolutely.
It'd be something the kids can remember and talk about.
And they'll play off of that.
Yeah.
And they'll continue it as they grow.
I remember my kids were little. I used to make eggnog. And, one day, 25 years later, they thought, oh, Dad, when you come down, my daughter, can you make us some eggnog?
Right.
Well, I got to remember the recipe. I mean, I know it takes eggs and nog, but I don't know what.
Right? I make homemade coffee cake every Christmas morning. And that's just a thing I do. Every Christmas morning I make homemade coffee cake. And
So, folks,
my
you're all invited over to Donna's house Christmas morning. So don't be late, or you're going to regret it.
well, my one of my daughters had gone to her boyfriend's parents' house for
Mhm.
Christmas, and she said she walked in and there was no coffee cake, and she thought to herself,
What's wrong with these
"What?
people?
Right? What kind of place have I come to? There's no coffee cake." And it's just because, so ingrained in that tradition from the time they can remember.
Yeah,
And she was really disappointed. There was no coffee cake.
what are you people, sacrilegious? What's wrong with you? Hadn't you been to the Donna Guinois School of Christmas morning? What the?
That's right. That's right. Coffee cake and coffee.
Oh, boy, that sounds
But
good.
start your family traditions, folks,
Yes,
and
yes.
plan now. And you know
Mhm.
what? Just have some fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look for ways to do things that's simple, easy, things that's inexpensive to do as a family that's fun. Like I said, go to a corn maze at the beginning of the show, get on a hayride. Oh,
Hmm.
man, I used to have a lot of fun on a hayride, but
Right?
anyway, it's a fun ride. Let me just leave it at that. That's back when I was young and good looking before I got married. But anyway, that's a boring story. But most importantly, get on an A, right? I don't even know why I mentioned that, but anyway. Oh Lord. Donna's gonna start snorting in a minute.
Oh, God.
One of our spirit of giving gets good humor.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So with that, Jim, we are out of time.
And the folks out there are saying, thanks, sweet Jesus, for that.
Right? Oh gosh, they can't keep a straight face. But seriously, folks, I will say on behalf of Jim and I, who's Mr. Giggly today, that we appreciate each and every one of you, wherever you are, day or night, watching us on this platform, and we hope we've touched your life. And we'll be back
Yes.
tomorrow, same
Mhm.
same place, same
Yeah.
station,
Yep.
and be safe, whatever you do.
Sure, you bet. You folks take care of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow. Bless you. Bless your loved ones. May you and your family have a great holiday season.
Bye bye.